And I believe we have Loy with us now. So, Loy, welcome to the program. Loy Vickers. Loy, you are a great resource for this sort of topic because you've dealt with these sorts of disasters around the country, including Hurricane Katrina, Superstorm Sandy, and others, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit. Okay, I've got homeowners insurance. I'm not living in a floodplain. How concerned do I need to be? I mean, is this, would I be screwed if something like this that was unpredicted were to come and hit my home?
Yeah, if you don't live in a floodplain, and to be honest with you, Tom, I guess most of the people that are surprised in Houston never probably dreamed that they would get that kind of water into the Houston area. And, policies changed a while back. They took out the flood coverage. They took out the earthquake coverage. So, I'm here to tell you that if you don't have a separate policy for your dwelling and flood, you probably don't have flood insurance.
Okay. So then what, so these people then, these thousands of people in Houston, many of them are just going to be out of luck, right?
That's correct. I mean, FEMA and the Small Business Administration, what we've seen in the past them do is they will step in and offer some small business type loans or low interest loans to these folks to try to help them get back into their house. But the sad reality is if you had a mortgage on your house to start with, now you're probably going to have two. And
you may not be able to live in that house for quite some time as they rebuild it and get rid of the toxins and everything. So what? I guess this is an act of God, right? Aren't
That's
act of
correct.
aren't act of Gods covered in your insurance?
Not flood water and not earthquake. They define those differently. Like earthquake is what it is, but flood water is defined as water that runs across the surface of the ground. And I know I've got a friend that I went to high school with that lives in the Merriam, Kansas area, and he was experiencing some flooding at his house over the weekend. And so, you really need to examine these policies. If you haven't examined your policy in a while, and as a matter of fact, I recommend to my clients that they review their policies every 2 years because we're seeing an intense amount of changes in these policies. And if you don't know what's in your policy, there's no way that you can actually say, Mr. Insurance Adjuster, I disagree with you. And that's where we come in because we do this every day, just like they do. And we work specifically for the policyholder and make them write their estimates according to the terms of the policy, not what they want to write it to.
Okay, so, again, I don't think I need to worry about flood insurance. Am I just whistling in the dark, or was this like, these people hit the Powerball of disasters, or, I think I'm okay. And I don't think I need earthquake insurance either. I think I'm okay. Am I just whistling in the dark?
If there's an event and you don't have it, you don't have it. That's exactly how the Houston people are waking up after the storm. A lot of people thought they had it because they had a policy, but in reality, unless you have a separate policy for both of those events, flood and earthquake, you don't have coverage for it. And so you've got to be real careful. And what we're going to see, Tom, is those maps that were drawn and that put people in the floodplain, those are all going to change here shortly. So while you might not be, after the maps are redrawn, it's possible that you will be.
But now, if the hurricane, if I don't have flood damage, but I just have damage from the hurricane, and it might be water damage from the storm, that's going to be covered, right? No, that should be covered in most policies, right?
Well, what we see in these storm situations is it's like the chicken and the egg syndrome. And, the insurance adjusters are going to come out and they're going to look at these claims and they're going to say, well, was this wind or flood? That's what I meant by chicken and the egg. And which came first, the wind or the flood? And so you have to look at the property to see, was the roof torn off? Was there damage coming from the top? Was it caused all by water running across? The reality is it's going to be both in most cases, but you have to get somebody in there that can help you separate this stuff out. And so it's going to be a mess. It's going to take a while to get this thing worked through. I was in Louisiana a couple of weeks ago helping write estimates for the flood that happened a year ago, and some of those people were back in their houses and some of them weren't. And so, it's going to be a long process to get them back, but it will happen eventually.
Okay, so let's talk here in the real world, okay? And I know that the adjuster's job is to work on behalf of the insurance company. At the same time, though, I'm thinking the adjuster, when seeing all of this devastation, and you're dealing with somebody who's crying because they've lost everything, what's the reality? I mean, will these adjusters just say, "Oops, sorry, the flood came first," or will they go and say, "Yeah, maybe I can justify the wind did this damage"? What do you think? I mean, in the real world, what sort of thing happens there?
Well, in the real world is they don't work for you. They work for the insurance company. And so regardless of how good he is and how much he may try to help you, he may say, I agree with you that there's damages here, but, I can only do X on this because somebody else is pulling those strings. And in reality, that's where having someone like us, because we're public adjusters, actually I'm licensed in Missouri and Kansas as well, and we work for the policyholder to make sure you're compensated according to the terms of the policy that you bought, nothing more, nothing less, and to make this a level playing field, because most homeowners don't do this every day, and that's where you run into problems. And, the insurance adjusters, for the most part, do this every day just like we do, and so they know what the game is and how it's played. But homeowners are at a disadvantage because most of them have never been through this type of event before.
And so, as such, then they do find themselves in this situation. Okay, so how does somebody, if they find themselves in this kind of need, where do they go to find you or someone like you?
Well, they can find us at www.empirepublicadjusters.com or call our office with any questions at 866-214-7461. And then there are some state organizations in Texas. I'm actually a board member of the Texas Association of Public Insurance Adjusters. There's a National Association of Public Insurance Adjusters. I think there's a Rocky Mountain chapter, which would probably cover Kansas and Missouri. But those folks can actually help you, and we're all people that work directly for the policyholder, not the insurance company.
All right, so that's important to know. In the event of some sort of natural disaster like this, are you going down to Houston now to work with people down there?
I've got some people down there now. I'm actually leaving tonight to go to Rockport. We're going to start in the Rockport area because I have some clients that are actually already there. And then we're going to move to Houston, where we've actually signed up a lot of claims there already as well. So, yes, I will be on the ground this weekend.
All right. Well, good talking with you. Lloyd Vickers, good talking to you. Once again, what is that website?
EmpirePublicAdjusters.com.
All right. Thank you very much.